Hey guys, how's it going? This is Waj, and in this video we'll be doing a overall comparison video of the new iPhone 6 Plus and the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. Now, both these two devices are going to be kind of phablet categories in terms of smartphones. The new iPhone 6 Plus is definitely a brand new product for Apple. They've never really made a phone like this before, so it's going to be really interesting to compare this most popular phablet phone from Samsung to this new phone from Apple that's really going to compete in that same marketplace. So if you're interested in getting a bigger phone, these are two of the big dogs that you're going to be looking at when trying to make your decision. Now, in terms of physical dimensions, I do have to give it to both phones. They both offer exceptional weight reduction and thickness for the overall large screen size that they provide. Now, in terms of the exact dimensions, the Samsung Note 4 measures about 153.5 millimeters in terms of its height, 78.6 millimeters in terms of its width, and it measures about 8.5 millimeters in terms of its thickness. The iPhone 6 Plus is about 158.1 millimeters in terms of its height, 77.8 millimeters in terms of its width, and only 7.1 millimeters in terms of its thickness. So the iPhone 6 Plus is insane in terms of its thinness, only measuring 7.1 millimeters, which is actually a little bit lower than the iPhone 5S. Now, in terms of weight, the iPhone 6 Plus measures about 172 grams, which is a little bit lighter than the Note 4, measuring about 176 grams. Now, in terms of exact screen size differences, you'll notice that the Note 4 is a little bit bigger, measuring about 5.7 inch versus the iPhone 6 Plus measuring about 5.5 inch. Now, when it comes to resolution, you'll notice that we do have some differences here. The Note 4 is using a higher resolution of 2560 by 1440, giving it a PPI about 515, which is pretty insane. Now, the iPhone 6 Plus has a standard resolution of what we come across with most Android smartphones of 1920 by 1080, and that has a PPI of about 401. Not bad, but certainly not up there with the Note 4. Now, in terms of the screen technology, the Samsung is famous for using AMOLED, and just personally being a Samsung Galaxy S5 owner, I really do love that screen technology. Pretty much the black levels and the color saturation are some of the best in the business. There's a reason why Samsung is king in terms of displays, and owning any Samsung device will certainly demonstrate that pretty well. Now, the iPhone 6 Plus has a better display than last year, still displaying about 60 million colors with IPS LED backlit technology, and it's certainly going to give you a great visual experience. But in terms of screen, I think the Note 4 definitely has the iPhone 6 Plus on this one. Now, the new processor on the iPhone 6 Plus is using the new A8 64-bit architecture, so it should be a lot faster than last year's A7, and they're claiming almost 84% faster than the original iPhone, which is pretty darn impressive. And from previous scores of Geekbench and things like that, Apple does a really good job with their own processors, and it can certainly hold up with anything that most Android phones will come inside with. Now, speaking of most Android phones, the Note 4 will come with a Qualcomm 805 Snapdragon processor, clocked at about 2.7 gigahertz, and in some markets you'll have an octa-core version that will comprise of 2 quad cores, one being clocked at about 1.9 gigahertz, the other being about 1.3 gigahertz. And usually these Samsung products offer different processors for different markets, but both processors are going to be more than adequate to do most of anything you would do on the Samsung Note 4. Now, when looking at the build quality and design of these two smartphones, definitely the iPhone has a lot better build quality in terms of its consistency of being mostly made out of high quality aluminum parts, as most Apple products are made from, and it's famous for that. And with a departure of the Note 4 being not so plastically as last year, it has actually a metal band around the phone, giving it a more premium look, which which certainly will help in terms of durability as well. Now, looking at the camera capabilities of both phones, you'll notice that the Samsung Note 4 kind of matches what the Samsung Galaxy S5 has. It has a 16 megapixel rear-facing sensor for your stills capabilities, excellent resolution, very impressive in terms of sheer pixels, and really good autofocus technology, as well as optical stabilization. Now, the iPhone 6 Plus also has optical stabilization, and it has a new sensor that's going to be faster in terms of phase detection autofocusing, so you should have better, quicker response in terms of focusing on the new iPhone. Now, in terms of video capabilities, the Note 4 is recording 4K videos at 30 frames per second. Now, the iPhone did upgrade to 60 frames per second at 1080p, but it does not record 4K, unfortunately. One big highlight of the new iPhone 6 is that it does record 240 frames per second in slow motion. It also does 120 FPS as well, which is going to be pretty cool if you like shooting slow-mo. Now, the front-facing camera on the Note 4 is a 3.7 megapixel sensor, which should give you really nice 1080p video at 30 frames per second. Unfortunately, we don't have much of an improvement of last year when we take a look at the iPhone 6 Plus, which still has a 1.3 megapixel FaceTime camera that records 720p video. Now, in terms of the memory capacities, the nice thing with the Note series and a lot of different Samsung products is that you do have the expandability of a micro SD expansion up to 128 gigs. There's no such expandability on the iPhone 6 Plus. You have the option to get the 16, 64, and 128 gigabyte model. One special feature, of course, of the Note is that it does still have that S Pen, which is great for people who like taking physical notes, and that's one huge feature of the Note series and one that's carried along. And they've improved the pen slightly from last year as well. Now, in terms of connectivity, both devices have dual band AC Wi-Fi support, which is excellent if you have AC or dual band routers. They also have NFC capabilities. Apple has just announced that they will now have a special feature on the NFC chip where you can do something called Apple Pay, which is going to be across the US and hopefully throughout the world, where you can put in your credit card and debit information and use their service rather than some of the third-party service. And of course, both have fingerprint sensors, which is great for security and a whole bunch of different things. Although I will tell you that the one on the iPhone, the sensor on the iPhone, is a little bit better than what you would find on the Note 3. Just a little bit more versatile in terms of ease of use, and the sensor can read your fingerprint in different orientation. The Note 4 is going to be a little bit more finicky, like what you find on the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now, since we're in the age of wearable smartwatches, both are going to have their capabilities to be integrated with their respective smartwatches. The Note 4 is going to have a whole bunch of different options to use with the Samsung Gear lineup products, as well as other Android Wear-based wearable devices. Now, obviously, the Apple iPhone 6 will be primarily using, if not only using, the new Apple Watch that just came out, and you're going to have a whole bunch of different integrated features that will work really well and harmoniously with that Apple Watch on the new iPhone. Now, looking at the battery performance on both phones, both are going to be pretty respectable for their large screen sizes. Now, they're going to be a little bit power hungry, so you expect to see a big battery in both of them. The iPhone is going to get over 24 hours of 3G talk time, which is fantastic, and 12 hours of web browsing on LTE. The Note 4 is going to get respectable times, maybe a little bit lower, but obviously you have a whole bunch of battery saving modes on the Note 4, which should give you really comparable battery life, very comparable to the iPhone 6 Plus. The other cool thing about the Note 4 is that it has a rapid fast charging technology, which should allow you to get 50% charge in just 30 minutes, which is definitely a handy feature, something that the iPhone 6 Plus doesn't explicitly have. And of course, another great option of the Note 4 is that you can replace the battery. So if you're a big power user, you can always buy many batteries and swap it as you go if you're traveling or don't have a charger to plug in somewhere with you. But other than that, there's a lot of other features that we didn't get a chance to talk about in this video. Stay tuned for the full review and comparisons of the Samsung Note 4 versus the iPhone 6 Plus. We're going to get these phones physically in so we can do a proper comparison. This is just a overview so you have a good idea going forward whether you'd be interested in either of these products, and to kind of see how these similar kind of size phones compare against each other. And if you have any specific questions at all, please make sure to leave that on a comment down below. Make sure to give us a thumbs up if you like this video. It really helps out. And if you want to support our channel, the best thing you can do is obviously watch and subscribe, and make sure you're commenting and be part of our instafuse.com community. But definitely check out our amazon.com affiliate link. So if you buy anything off of Amazon, it just goes, helps us out to carry these videos forward, and just gives us a little bit of support to keep you up to date with the best content available. So if you're going to get something on Amazon, definitely try to bookmark our affiliate link, which is down below, and that helps us out tremendously. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later. Take care.